fish then. Right guys, so we've done a bit of fishing now. We've done some basics. How do you feel like you're getting on?
Very good.
Yeah, I feel like I've improved a lot, and I think I've improved on my casting especially. So
good. So you've done some little roach fishing before and things like that on a pole. How do you find carp fishing is different?
You catch bigger fish and they weigh more, and
But why do you enjoy that more?
because it's more exciting.
Yeah, get a bit more of a buzz from it. So I brought you down to where I really started fishing when I was probably Thomas's age, about 12, and it's where I really learnt what carp fishing was about. It was a bit of a different lake back then, but I think it's good for you guys to start on. And we've done a few bits and pieces, and you've caught already, haven't you? So tell me what you've caught.
All we've caught are commons, little teeny commons, and Thomas let me have one of his rods on a fish, and it was very good, so I couldn't let him hold it.
Yeah, that was quite a good common, that one, wasn't it? So obviously you're brothers and you get on really well. Do you think you're going to fish together in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're older. So I'm hoping we're going to get a few today. We've come down in the afternoon, slightly colder than we've been before, and we've not been able to get on the main pads where we usually catch. So hoping there's going to be some fish moved into this little bay behind us, because it's quite busy, the main lake. So we've been catching quite a few fish now in a couple of sessions. We've had 10, 11 fish maybe, a couple more. Ollie, you've even caught, what did you catch last night?
I caught an eel.
Yeah, you caught an eel, which I haven't seen for a very long time on the bank. So, that could be a good thing. It's quite a big eel as well. It's nice to see, but not nice to unhook and untangle. So can you tell me what bait we've been catching on?
well, the bait we've been catching on is the mainline salty squid wafters, which I feel that the fish really like.
Yeah.
We caught a load of fish on them last time, so...
Yeah, it's a really pungent smell, flavour to it. And also, they've not long dyed this lake, because it's always had a lot of weed problems in the last few years, so they've dyed it, so the water clarity isn't great, and that bit of visual high-vis pink is something that the fish can hone in on in a coloured water situation. So I think that's got something to do with it as well. And we've also been feeding DNA switch as free offerings, which seems to get them feeding, and they've been quite active the last few weeks. Also, our rig's been a bit different from the basic as well. Can you remember what rig we're using?
The combi.
That's right, yeah, well remembered. Yeah, I think that's helped you because as a I'm going to get a bite on camera. As a fluorocarbon combi rig, it helps because you're new to casting and trapping the line as the lead hits the water, things like that. When the lead hits the deck, the rig is going to kick out because it's stiff, rather than maybe a simple hair rig with like a soft braid that would just end up landing in a heap and not being effective. So I think the rig works for you guys at the minute, and we're going to do some rig lessons, aren't we? We're going to get into that and tie in your own rigs.
Yeah.
and things like that. Okay, so guys, you haven't been fishing very long, really, carp fishing anyway. So it might be a tricky question, but Thomas, what's your favourite bit about carp fishing so far?
My favourite bit is holding the fish with the camera.
Yeah? Yeah, I guess that's one of my favourite bits too.
Yeah,
and seeing the
because-
picture afterwards.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think that it might make me famous one day. So,
Okay, well,
yeah.
you're going to have to try really, really hard because there's a lot of competition out there. So, Ollie, what's your favourite bit?
The whole thing, because like it's just all good and I can't pick out of which bit's the best.
That is like me. I can't pick which is my favourite bit about carp fishing because it's the getting there, it's the anticipation, it's working out what you're going to do, what you're going to use, finding your spots, getting your bait in the right place. It's about when the buzzer screams, it's the reel spinning, it's making contact with the fish, it's playing the fish, it's netting it, all of it. That's what gives you the buzz, I think. So, in contrast to that, what is your worst bit about carp fishing so far? And it's not, you can't say catching an eel, alright, because that's not carp fishing.
I think my least favourite part is letting the fish go, because I mean there might be a really, really cool fish and you might never see it again.
Yeah, okay, I can see your point on that. Some of the fish I've caught in the past and I've let go, it's a good feeling letting them go when you know you've looked after them, you know you got some cool pictures and you see them swimming back into their home. But yeah, but repeat captures do happen sometimes. If you catch a cool fish, you could catch that fish again. But I know what you mean, yeah, okay. So, Ollie, what's your least favourite part?
It's packing up, because it takes like 15 minutes to even pack up and get going.
Yeah?
It's just not the kind of time for me.
No. I don't think any fisherman likes packing up. That is probably the worst bit ever, especially when it's raining. Or when you've just caught an eel and you've got to get all the slime off your line. And so yeah, okay, I agree with you there. That's probably the worst bit. So, the next question I'm going to ask you is quite an important one, because I'm trying to pass on my passion of fishing to you, and I also need to make sure that you know the important parts. Okay? So, Ollie, I'll ask you first, what's an important thing that you've got to do when you're carp fishing?
It's probably the importantest bit is about keeping the nature around you safe and not leaving like hooks or lines around so other animals don't get hurt.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, I agree with that. That's something that a lot of people don't do, and it's frustrating sometimes when you get to a nice lake and there's litter around, and you pick up hooks and line and things like that. So it's always a good idea when you go fishing to have a look around while you're waiting for a bite, and if you see anything like bundles of line or hooks, any general rubbish, is to try and make sure that it gets put in a bin, or just get it in a bag, take it away with you. Okay, that's good one, Ollie. That's really important. So Thomas, what do you think? After all the things I've been teaching you, what's an important thing?
I think another important thing about carp fishing is that you take care of what you catch. So like making sure you have all the right equipment, making sure they go back safe and unharmed. And that you have a decent map
Yeah, that's a really important one as well. You see a lot of anglers now on lakes like this anyway, little club lakes maybe, that don't have the right equipment to keep the fish safe. They do have an hooking mat. Some of them are really small and thin. They're not really going to protect a decent fish if it does come free from your hands. So yeah, it's important to have a nice big mat, plenty of space on it, a nice cushion mat, and also carp care as well. Things like the antiseptics. If you get a scale lifted, okay, you can just put a bit of antiseptic on them so they heal quickly. Hook holds where the hook's been, just need to rub a little bit on there sometimes just to make sure it's going to heal properly. Things like that. So that's another good one. Yeah. So, guys, this year is our first real carp fishing year together. What is it that you think would be a good goal for you by the end of the year?
Top bins.
Yeah, we're not talking football.
I think that my goal would be to cast around 80 yards accurately.
Okay, that's... Yeah, we're going to have to do a lot of practice to get that, but, you know, with the right equipment and the right technique, which you've been working on your technique and it's really good, so I think that's an achievable target for you. What size fish do you think you want to be able to have caught by the end of the year?
Size fish? Ooh. I think about 20 pounder.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know of a few places we could go to probably get a 20-pound fish under your belt. But yeah, I think a bit of practice on these little club waters first. Get a few scraper doubles under your belt. Yeah, we can sort that out, no problem. Ollie, what about you?
I think my goal is to
That was the bucket.
Yeah, that was the bucket.
to get past the hook about 30 yards out.
Yeah, okay.
And
You can do that, no problem, by the end of the year. And accurately as well, yeah?
my size fish, I think I can catch by the end of this year is a size 20.
Yeah, so both... Yeah, I think if you both end up with a 20-pound fish by the end of the year, we'll be happy, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and get your casting accurate. Yeah. Right, we're into one. Pretty decent common. Well, decent for this lake anyway. Ollie's going to be the gilly. Great fun on this light tackle. Quite deep margins as well, so you fight under the tip. Right, now we're going to get him, okay? Now he's ready. His head's up. Don't lift, don't lift. That's it. He's in. One for the camera. Shame we didn't get the bite on camera, but there we go. There's one to end our session. Lovely common. Probably about 13, 14 pound maybe.
Wow.
Maybe 15 at a touch. But yeah, we got one in the end, so what do you think about that, boys?
Very good for our closing minute.
Yeah, closing sort of 10 minutes. So let's get him back. Thomas, you might see him again one day, don't know.